Hello and welcome back to another UCL fantasy team selection video. In today's video we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to go over the chances of progression for each team as it is now the second leg of the round of 16. We're also going to look at some of the clean sheet odds again, which have obviously the fixtures have flipped over to home games if the team last played an away game, and obviously away games if they played a home game as well. So the clean sheet odds have kind of changed a little bit. And then we'll look at my team, how I got on last week, and then finally we'll look at my upcoming team selection and the transfers that I'm planning on using. So starting us off, we do have the chances of progression. Obviously, we have now had the first leg passed. There was certain results. For example, Man City are now 99.9% chance of progressing to the quarterfinals after beating Copenhagen 3-1. So it kind of just gives us an idea of the kind of players we want to either transfer in or the players we want to transfer out as well. So I think the majority of us are going to have about 3 or 4 Man City players anyway, so I don't really think there's too much to worry about that one. Real Madrid 91%. Again, someone like Jude Bellingham is now back from their injury, played at the weekend, and he's probably going to be a very popular transfer in, and it's good to know because they're 91% chance of going through, which means that you're probably not going to have to take Bellingham back out. PSG are now 89% chance of going through as well. Inter have a very decent chance. Obviously, they only beat Atletico 1-0 and they are now away from home. So, for me, I think that's a bit more of a 50-50, but obviously, Inter are still a very, very good team. And they are still 75% chance to go through. Barca 73, Arsenal only 67%. I think a couple people might have maybe 3 or 4 Arsenal players thinking that the Porto fixture was going to be an easy one. Obviously, it is still a home fixture now, so it is a lot better for Arsenal on paper, so I wouldn't be transferring out any Arsenal players, but it is worth noting. Bayern 64%, obviously they also get beat 1-0 off Lazio, but they now have a home fixture as well. Don't think too many people are going to have too many Bayern players. I think Harry Kane's going to be in the majority of teams, and then maybe like 1 or 2 more, whether you've got another attacker, whether you've got Kim in defence, or someone like Upamecano as well. Dortmund 58% chance, PSV 42, Lazio 36, and then really anyone in those reds are the players that you want to be taking out. I don't know if anyone's going to have maybe Kvaratskhelia, maybe Di Lorenzo from Napoli, maybe Molina or Griezmann from Atletico, are probably going to be those kind of players that you want to be taking out this week. So our clean sheet odds, these are obviously going to influence the transfers we make in the defence. We obviously want to be having the defenders that could possibly have an attacking return potential. Maybe they pick up some ball recoveries like Hummels or Kim, but mainly we're going to be looking at these clean sheet odds here. So Man City once again top the leaderboards. They had 55% last week, and they once again have 55%. Obviously did concede last week away from home to Copenhagen. Copenhagen are going to have to come out and try get as many goals as possible. Obviously they did lose 3-1 in the last leg, so they need to score at least 2 to take it to extra time without Man City scoring. So understandable why the odds are still only 55%. Will Copenhagen score? Obviously it's a home game for Man City. I don't think the Man City defence has been fantastic, to be honest, this season. But again, they're still the highest for clean sheet odds, so you are still going to want at least 1, maybe 2 of those guys in there. Arsenal have a 51% chance of keeping a clean sheet. I don't know if maybe Porto expected to just park the bus and hope to keep that 1-0 lead, but Arsenal are up there, so again, you are going to want to look at Man City and Arsenal defenders. Bayern still up there as well after getting beat 1-0 against Lazio away. So again, someone like Kim could be a very decent option. Barca and Real Madrid up there as well. Inter and Atletico both the exact same, obviously playing each other again. They were quite low in terms of clean sheet odds last time. Obviously Inter did keep a clean sheet as well, which was good for anyone who owned those guys. PSG are a bit lower this time now that they're playing away from home against Real Sociedad, sorry. So players like Hakimi and Lucas Hernandez might not be as good. Maybe players you want to look at taking out. Then we've got Dortmund and Sociedad in there as well. PSV, Napoli, Lazio, Leipzig, Porto and Copenhagen. Again, similar players to the lower chances of progression. Obviously, if you've got someone like Di Lorenzo, maybe Rom from Leipzig, you're probably going to want to get them out because the chances of a clean sheet are very, very low this week. So this is how I got on last week. It was a bit of a bittersweet kind of game week. Obviously, I did still do all right. Still, in terms of rank, I've literally dropped 5 places worldwide. So 50 places worldwide. Sorry, I think I was 180 or something last week. But again, it was another week where the 50-50s just didn't really go well for me. It seems to be happening every single game week this week, because I genuinely think I would be up there in the top 100 if my 50-50s went well, but this week it was a case of going for Phil Foden over De Bruyne. Obviously that was only a 3-point swing, but doing that meant I had the extra money to go for Yamal over Brahim Diaz, who also picked up about 14-15 points. So it was a big swing in the end. It was about maybe 16-17 points going for those guys, and I think there was someone else as well. It was Lunin, actually. It was going for Lunin instead of Raya. I think Lunin picked up a 11 pointer as well. He was obviously cheaper than Raya, so it was going for Lunin, going for Brahim Diaz, and that would have allowed me to afford De Bruyne over Foden, but I went for the other option. Obviously hasn't really worked out. So again, I think in total that 50-50 was about a 20-point swing, and I probably would have had a massive green arrow had I went for the other option, but we didn't, and it's alright, I suppose, at the end of the day. I've not really dropped too much from doing so. So this is how I got on. I did keep the captaincy on Mbappe. It did seem to be the right option. I think when you've got someone who's on a 9-pointer, there's you can't really be switching from that. For me, I think in the first day, the captaincy's got to get about 8 points, maybe 9 points. It really depends who you've got in the back ready. For me, obviously, I had Mbappe to go. I had Haaland in the first day. Obviously, when he blanks, you're just easily switching that over. Mbappe had 9, and then I had Saka, I believe, and Çalhanoğlu were the 2 other backups. But I was happy enough with Mbappe's 9-pointer, and we just rolled with that. Kim was absolutely fantastic. I did mention him in the ultimate guide video for the round of 16 that he was second in terms of ball recoveries, averaging about 9. I think he picked up about 11 or 12, and even though Bayern didn't keep a clean sheet, he still managed 6 points, which was brilliant. Hummels was another one who I mentioned. I didn't have him. I did end up going for Maatsen instead. Hummels does look a very good option, and I think he's a very good transfer in this week if you don't have them already. Other than that, everyone's kind of done alright. We've got a lot of 3 and 4 pointers in there with Zaire Emery, Çalhanoğlu, and then everyone on the bench. Yamal and Saka didn't really do anything either. Ruben Diaz never kept that clean sheet. So it was kind of an average week. I don't really think there's too many high point scorers anyway, so no one really got big points unless you picked someone like De Bruyne, Brahim Diaz and stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. It still kept the 5th rank in Scotland as well, didn't move there. But again, in terms of rank, haven't really moved, so hoping to get a big green arrow this week. And then looking at the upcoming week then, this is the transfers that we're kind of looking at planning right now. Obviously, when you've got 3 transfers going into the second leg, you want to be using all 3 of them, because one of the stipulations is now that we're into the knockout stages is that you can't carry over your transfers, which you could in the group stage. So you really want to be using all 3 of your transfers to really maximise the points and maximise your advantage going into the second leg. So for me, I can only really see 2 transfers that I like in terms of keeping them within the budget that I've got. So for me, Hakimi's came out, Saliba's came in. Obviously we saw the clean sheet odds earlier in the video. PSG are right down there at 26% now, and Hakimi, obviously it does have a big attacking potential, but for me I think I'd rather go for someone with a higher clean sheet potential, and I've went for Saliba. So that gives me now 2 Man City defenders and 2 Arsenal defenders, and they are obviously the top 2 in terms of clean sheet odds. So I feel pretty good with that. I've got a Bayern defender in there as well still with Kim, and that's another one in the top 3 for clean sheet odds. So my defence is looking pretty solid. Again, a lot of home fixtures in there as well, which is good. And then in midfield, Jude Bellingham is obviously probably going to be the number 1 transfer in this week for the majority of people, and for me it's been Yamin Lamal that comes out there. Preferably I would like to take out Çalhanoğlu instead, but the budget just didn't allow it. So again, I think I've kept this other transfer free because I can't think of another one that I really want to make. Like Zaire Emery, I probably would like to take out, but with his price at 5.4 million, I just don't really see any reason to. And there's really no good alternatives at that price range either. Similar to Çalhanoğlu, he is probably someone that I would probably take out with an away fixture against Atletico, but again, at that price range, there's not really too many good options there. Defence I'm more than happy with. I'm happy to keep Maatsen in there. He did just score at the weekend as well, so he is kind of keeping up with that attacking potential, and he did get a couple of ball recovery points in the last fixture as well. So the defence I'm perfectly happy with, looking like that. The midfield is where I'm a bit iffy with, but again, I don't really have the budget to move that around. And then the front three is fantastic. I'm more than happy with that front three, and I don't really want to be downgrading anyone there. So I'm keeping the options open. Maybe if something comes around like team news, then I'll make a last minute transfer. Again, if you want to see any last minute transfers, do look up in the top right corner where my Twitter is, and I'll post anything that happens on there. But yeah, so for me, the team looks great for me, but Zaire Emery and Çalhanoğlu are probably the two areas where I would like to move. But again, Zaire Emery at his price, I'm just probably going to keep him until PSG get eliminated. Çalhanoğlu, again, if any team news or something, he would be the next one to come out. So yeah, my transfer is available there. That is free to use at any point. So it's just going to be whatever happens in terms, if there's leaked lineups and someone's not starting, then I'll just make that move there. But that is going to be my team, or at least that should be my team going into the second leg of the round of 16. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the transfers, what transfers you're going to be making in your team, and make sure to smash the like button while you're there as well. Make sure to subscribe as well if you're new, and once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.